Count in the room.
Is that singing your church song?
You sit there quiet, one saying nothing.
Why I gotta make me say something?
So you always saying something.
Okay, you can say something.
I don't see it.
Hey, Shampria.
I ain't see him.
Really?
I don't think I'm doing that.
Babe. People saying hello.
Hey, people.
He is so dumb. Hey, Peaches. Was it Shauna? Hey, Shauna. Who we got in there?
It's on now?
Yes,
I don't see
Peaches.
it. Where's that?
Did you say where it's at?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with my husband and I. Trying to give our time to come in the room, say hello, let us know when you get in, when you come in the room, and where you from. What section class? We all asleep, y'all. I was asleep. That's why we a little tardy. I had fell asleep.
Okay. I found it. I had found it and everything like that.
Really?
Let us know you on here, where you from. Don't forget to share in the left-hand corner with your friends. Invite some people.
Why you staring at me, honey, instead of them?
Because you're so beautiful, even though you just woke up and got crust in your eyes.
I do not.
I still had laughed at you.
Oh, Lord.
Tanisha from Orlando, glad you're joining us.
Let's say Revelation.
Peaches, Shauna. Anyway, you got some people in the room. How's it?
Really? He is looking at eBay like always. Crazy
I
stuff.
wasn't looking at nothing. It came up.
eBay.
That was the Lord.
That was the Lord.
Yes.
The Lord named eBay.
He sent notifications. Oh God!
I'm trying to wake up.
Wake on up.
I laid across my bed for a minute. Hey, Tedra.
What's going on, Ted?
She said she remembered the name. Krista, all the way from Old Coy. Did she
Ocoee?
say from Old Coy?
There you go.
All the way from Old Coy.
All the way. We appreciate you. Don't get no long distance deal.
Oh, Lord. Right, Tanisha, listen. He came to turn the light on in the room at 8:02.
But why she wait 8 o'clock to go to sleep?
I've been laying across the bed for a minute.
She said she was going to take a nap at 6 o'clock.
But then my children are taking their singing pictures tomorrow. I asked them to show me their clothes, which I told them to get out a few days ago. You know how kids are. Oh, my God.
If you don't stop yawning.
Okay. I'm woke. Not really.
Stop!
So what's been going on is,
Oh, Brittany said hello. My phone tripping. It went black.
Brittany. Right, the struggle is real. So, how was your Mondays? Your Monday?
How was your Monday?
It was long. You know, going to work on Monday after the weekend is always difficult.
Elvin, what's popping?
Lord, Elvin, come in here with this men club stuff today.
That's the man right there. So yeah, you had a long Monday after Sunday?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
After Lord's Day.
Me too.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, my Monday was pretty decent.
Right. Tasha, you in Tallahassee? What? You know who Tasha is, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the same one.
Peaches say she brainstorming ideas for her 5-year anniversary this Friday.
Oh, shucks now.
That's right. Get it in.
Do it up. Hey, Stacy.
What's going on with it?
Yeah, it's Tasha. Used to work at doctor's office. Dr. Alma.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So she in Tallahassee.
That's what's up.
So you working in Tallahassee? I know you were in nursing school. Did you finish or are you just up there? But anyway, we don't remember what the topic was supposed to be.
We don't remember?
Yeah, we are a team. Do you remember?
Maybe you are in charge of the secretarial duties.
Dude, why y'all got a little bit hidden in the shot?
You the brains, I'm the beauty.
Oh, wrong Tasha. Okay, Tasha. I say I didn't know if it was you or not. My bad. Bam, you right. Your brother say hurry up and what?
Whatever. Look, he better be tuning in instead of watching that foolishness.
The big three, what's that?
That's that basketball league that Ice Cube got with all the retired basketball players and one get hurt every 5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
So you get on our broadcast and tell us to start hurrying up.
Yeah.
Really? So anyway, last week, what we talked about last week?
Dating and keeping it sexy.
And he said there was a topic that came up that we were supposed to...
Yeah, a young lady had a question that we missed and we went back and addressed it some toward the end. There was some type of problem she was having with her husband. Like she was trying everything that she knew and it wasn't working or something.
I don't think that's when we said we were going to address. I think you totally just took that on your own.
Nope, that wasn't it.
See, now you yawning.
Yeah, because you start that foolishness.
But anyway.
So continue on with the, first of all, when you wake up from a nap, you need to get the cold out your eye.
Got no cold in my eye.
Brush your teeth, get the green man's out.
So first of all, I
just go on people cameras, scan people.
Whatever. Nah, I did not put on that lipstick, but
or anything else for that matter. But I always like a natural beauty.
Well, today is my 18th. That's right. That's okay. Let me start there. So today, Tedra says it's her 18th wedding anniversary. But it's also my parents' 57th wedding anniversary. Man, girl said it's stupid. He get on my nerves. He about to be by himself.
You see the face?
So next week we will not be doing our broadcast because right. Tell them, Stacey. Let me talk about me.
See, that was just taken out of context. I was just saying in general because we were talking about keeping it sexy. You know, keeping it up to date.
Really?
Yeah, and when you wake up, you need to, get some basic hygiene needs out of the way. You don't just wake up, oh, God, you don't wake up and come in here and start talking to people. They might have smell-o-vision.
Really?
Scratch and sniff.
I only been asleep for like 30 minutes.
How long do it take for the green man to invade your mouth? 5?
But yes.
Happy anniversary, Tedra. Hope you feel better.
Hope you feel better.
She said she was feeling sick today.
She did?
Yeah.
I didn't see that part.
I see you too busy. Where your glasses at? Can you see?
First of all, don't come for me.
Where's your help?
You right here. No, I try to make my eyes look little on camera, but he be bothering me so it stretch out. Anyway.
Right.
I'm getting on check and no black love, nigga. Right, tell him, okay. So
why we not doing this? I thought you were going what's it called? Thought you were going
but you gotta be, we could do that, but you gotta be smart enough to set the camera up.
Oh, now see, there you go.
You couldn't even, you didn't figure out how to turn it over. You didn't know how to go to and turn it on.
You go to Facebook.
And do what?
You type in go live. And go live. And match the button.
Okay, so, right. I won't be here my girls are going to a summer program, and I take them off starting next week, so I'll be gone for a week.
What is I'm gonna do with no booty and breasts in the bed for a week?
Did you say booty and breasts?
Be sleeping like nothing there. No legs, no thighs. Shame.
I'm real close to karate chopping him, Stacey, because he trying it.
Why you gonna try me?
But I was saying that he could have went live, and you know how we brought Tanisha and them on the camera that time, right, Tedra? He about to get beat up. We brought him on the camera that time so we could do it and I could be where I am. However, my husband has a hard time with just turning it on.
Where's you gonna be? I'm gonna be where you at.
No, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be single for a week.
Them lies. I'm gonna be all in your DM. Whatever that means. I'll be right there, so spying on you.
You gonna be in my DM?
Mm-hmm. That's where your phone at, right? I'll be in there. Seeing what's going on.
So, I know you know what we've been talking about lately. Anybody have anything they want to talk about? We had a bunch of crazy long topics in the last few weeks. And so, since we don't have anything, if there was some questions or some topics that we want to talk about, then we could definitely touch on those a little bit to see what we need to...
I know we did speak on communication a little bit too, I think, last week, right? Or was that the week before?
I don't know what they got to do tonight. I don't know what they got to do tonight.
Well, I can continue that, I guess. Because you're not communicating very
Lies,
well.
I tell you what.
You,
Gonna be single?
right. Single for the night.
He'll be miles and miles away. He'll be miles away.
Girl got eyes everywhere.
They ain't gonna be in New York with me.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Like this.
Wow, finally got on live. Hey, Kim.
Watching you.
Child, please.
You better not even shake nobody's hand.
I'm gonna tone down.
Oh, you don't get SARS.
So just trying to see what else. Yes, that is great. Gemini, biggest communication. So is that what kept you guys going strong for a million years, Tedra? Communication?
Right.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Kim. What?
Why you gotta let you know who Kim is every time she come on here?
No, you don't. What you mean? It's 12 Kims on there.
No, it ain't.
It is. Kim Brown, Kim, this person, Kim, that person. Yeah.
Oh, Tanisha said you definitely need to talk about communication. How about this? Men don't communicate well. Men think you can read their mind. Men think that...
Wait a minute, that's too many men.
Men think that...
How you know what men think?
You supposed to know what they need, know their emotions, know their feelings, but they're not going to share them. How about that? Is that a good enough communication tip?
I know what you don't know.
What you don't know?
These nuts! Get him!
This fool. Look what Keela said. You know what she's talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't. Oh, my God.
I'm
oh,
sorry.
my God.
You were doing all that knowing. I had to see what you know.
Listen. Keela, you better get banned because I cannot be laughing at you this whole time. Okay? I just can't.
Got him!
That goes for
both ways.
No. Okay, so listen. So tell a common thing that women do about communication. Something they do that probably not the best in communication. Something that women do.
The same thing you said for men. They assume. People assume that your partner knows
Not
something.
people. I'm talking about what women do.
Women, yeah, they do that. They assume, and along with their assumption, they're very emotional. See that? That's when I'm making a punch.
They're very emotional.
Yes, they're not always logical in their assessments.
Right. Men.
I will say, if it wasn't for freedom and stability in the past and friends, I learned to communicate better. But how do we improve? So we're trying to improve some more.
Okay. So we're first going to talk about some of the things that causes common mishaps. So the first thing we said that I use for men, he said applies for women, is that we don't clearly communicate. We assume that the other person can read our mind. and know what it is that we want or need.
Correct. Second, I would say not clearly communicating expectations, because you would assume that everybody has the same framework, the same life experience, so we expect things to be done a certain way, or when something happens to respond.
So nobody can ever see your hand because you.
Yeah, you can see my face. That's all I need.
Hey, but you're doing your points. You look like you're so like not over here.
They expect the spouse. Expect your spouse to to respond a certain type of way or do a certain thing, and it has never been clearly communicated. And when that happens, your spouse has resentment towards you because you're upset with them and they don't know why. And then it just spirals out of control from there.
So that would be the same thing for women, right?
Yes.
For men.
Go both ways, yeah. I was speaking in general. That was a pillowcase for us.
Shut up.
I was speaking in generalities there.
I'm saying, but like, we talk about. I want you to think of some things that commonly that women do that we can talk about.
It's hard, baby, because you're so perfect. I mean, you don't do that stuff anymore, so it's hard to remember what you had said back in the day.
Okay, so he tripping. Hey, Candace, I see you. Stop.
What? So it's hard to remember, but yes, that's something that both parties do. I'm trying to think of something gender specific.
Well, one of the things that I know that I'm gonna say women are notorious for this one is trying to resolve an issue when it's already heated.
Right.
I mean, men would do it, but women usually want to like.
Oh, I got two. I'm glad you said that. See, when we talk back and forth, we work so well together. That's awesome. You're so great, honey. I appreciate you. So anyway, what women do is a lot of things, but the first thing is that when you're having a heated conversation, women like to bring up old stuff. Like
men bring up old stuff. The men are the worst for that. I think.
First of all,
I think men are the absolute worst. They act like they go to acting like women.
Hey.
They won't talk, and then when they go talking, they act like a little woman. Like,
listen.
Well, back when we first got together, you said that
you real loud right now. Watch your tone. You real loud. Loud talking me on TV in front of company. Don't do that. That's number one. Number two, that's what women do too. They loud talk you and repeat the same thing over and over. Like you don't understand what they said the first time, and because you said it 10 more times, don't mean I'm understanding it.
Well,
the 10th time.
If you would be listening to what I said the first time, second time, then you would have understood what I said the first time, second time, third time. But you so busy waiting on me to shut up. So you can say your little point, make you be great again.
Not just because you ain't loud, take some of that bass out your voice.
You know how I get when I wake up, so shut up.
It'll be the deep voice in me. My voice, hey.
I'm not putting up with this tonight. You hear me?
My voice goes deep too.
They overtalk men. Okay, I hear you. Keyword Angie, they don't listen. Now, this is what, if you say a whole bunch of stuff to a man, they just pick out one random thing. Oh, so our sex ain't good? What? Now, you could have told him that you don't feel like you get turned on because you guys are not connected and he doesn't listen and you're frustrated. All he heard that my sex ain't good. Well, who said that?
You can't get turned on if you wearing a moo-moo to bed and you got that Nazima on your face.
Well, baby, that is not every woman's story.
I'm just saying. Stacy says that men say hurtful things too.
Men say really hurtful things. But I'm going to say usually they're more calculated with they stuff they say.
The men or the women?
Men, when they say something, they going to try to gut punch you.
No.
Especially if you married to somebody like Cedric who thinks
so wait a minute. What? Huh? No. I go to church. I listen to the word.
Hey, we're talking about what you reading. We're still talking about.
I know. I'm trying to see the comments.
Okay, but we still have not finished that point about when we're talking, over talking, and saying hurtful things. People are responding. We haven't got past. You ain't got
That's
read
what I'm
nothing.
looking at.
You ain't got to read nothing.
They didn't respond to that.
They don't have to. Baby, we don't have to respond. We didn't finish it. You can't stay focused for 10 seconds now.
I am focused. Go ahead. I'm not gonna say nothing hurtful. I'm a Christian man. Hey, y'all, don't forget to share down in the left-hand corner with your friends and families and everything like that. But yes, I think both parties do say. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You keep saying stuff that women do. Both sexes do it. It's depending on the person.
But men typically don't listen because they felt like we're fussing and repeating the same thing over and over again.
But women don't either. And if they do listen,
but men don't share.
They're not hearing.
But men don't share.
But that's because when they share, the woman overreacts. So how do you expect the man to share with you when he shares one little thing and you go berserk and go crazy?
Well, okay, so how do they talk about, how does a man share his negative situation or experience when he wants her to do better or to feel better? You know, he has a concern or a problem.
Well, T.L. said women put more thought in things. They have to put a lot of thought into it and be very positive. I would maybe suggest doing it right after a pleasant sexual experience.
But if it's not working well, if you guys are not talking, y'all ain't kicking it, you know, if things ain't vibing, you ain't gonna have sex.
Well, what about if you plan a nice romantic evening just to have some?
But and that could be, but depending on what the state of your relationship. If you're in a relationship where you feel like I don't know how much more I can do this because the communication is bad, then what?
That's a tough situation. You got to try to connect some kind of way, because if you're not connected, no one is going to be receptive to something negative from somebody not connected to. That's not how we're wired as human beings.
But you have to find a way to reset it, because before you get back connected, if y'all been bumping heads,
well, that's it. Just say, listen, we've been having some difficulties. We need to hit the reset button. Let's start over again. Let's both be nice and loving to each other and try tenderness. That's something I can recommend, and go from there, because you can't change what you did in the past. And if you keep going the same way, it's like I always say, you're waiting on the other person to be the bigger person, and you'll be waiting a long time in most cases.
Somebody asked a question for you.
I see that. It says, why is it when a woman tells her man something he doesn't want to hear, what his lady has to say, but someone else can tell them the same thing, and the man takes it in? Well, that's pretty simple, Kim. That's just the way that people are. It's just like if you have a child and the child plays sports, basketball for say, and the parent coaches. You can coach your kid and they don't listen to you, and some stranger off the street can say, hey, when you're doing this, do this, that, and they take it ends the same thing you've been telling them, but they take it from that strength. That's just the way that people are, and it could be that, you know, you might not be as connected as you think.
Well, I would say for that particular thing, that goes both ways.
Right.
Because, you know,
it depends on the dynamic of the relationship as well.
But I don't really care who dynamic. I mean, me and you actually now, you know, do well. And it's been things you told me, and then I come back and say, baby, such, you like, I've been telling you that the whole time, and now you excited about it?
Well, but other thing too, you got to keep in mind too, is how you've been communicating it, because you may have been saying that, but the person hasn't been receiving. Like you say all the time, when you say words like "you always" or "you never."
But I'm just going. But I'm just saying. But I'm talking about me and you. We don't use those words, and it's stuff that you've said to me that when somebody else said it, it was like, "Oh, said it." You was like, "I've been saying it the whole time."
But I'm saying I still may not have been communicating it in a way that you clearly understood.
I understood. It's just something that be like different when somebody else say it.
And I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Most of the time it's that, but it could be something else too. It's hard to say without more background facts on that, Kim. But that's the point. Is he received it and he's making a change or whatever the case may be. That's what we want. So it really shouldn't matter who it comes from, as long as you get the results, right?
Right.
Right. If somebody give you $100 by your mama, or your daddy give it to you, your sister, you got the $100. So leave it at that. Tanya says, men feel like women should understand without explaining themselves, but we as women always explain. You have to be detailed with any situation so both will understand.
Well, there's a catch-22 with that.
Right.
Because one thing, we as parents, men and women, kind of teach our boys not to talk that much. Like, men don't talk that much, men don't do this, men don't do that. And there's some truth to that, but you have to teach them how to be able to communicate and express themselves in order for it not to be a bad thing when they get into a relationship.
Right.
Like our oldest son, he's so much like his daddy. I was like, dude, we need to get you right now, because by the time you get a wife, she gonna be like, dude, he won't tell me nothing. He got to go through all this stuff that we went through. But the second part was,
what?
You said, she said women explain a lot, but sometimes it's detrimental, because some of the couples that we've dealt with, like, she explains so much, like, I'm too, I understand what she's saying, I just don't agree, or I don't want to do it.
Right. So
it's not necessarily over-explaining that you need to do. See, people need to sometimes receive the spirit of what you're saying and not so much each detailed word. Because if you talk in depth about it, at some point in time, it's going to be like this, blah, 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 blah.
Tune it out.
I don't hear what you're saying.
Right. And that's the thing, too, about men. A lot of men have a small attention window. So after you get past about 15, 20 minutes, we thinking about other stuff. Basketball, football, work, whatever the case may be. Teddy says, therapy, prayer, and if the disconnect is that bad, ask the question, what caused the disconnect? And then said, what advice would you give to a couple to reconnect?
Well,
that's what we talked about last week, right?
Well, no, but I mean, even what we just talked about now, what caused a disconnect, well, part of what we talked about last night is that sometimes life can just cause disconnect. Right. One of the things for Cedric and I, he would come home, he watched TV out here. I go in the room and I watch my recorded shows. I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but I watch the stuff I like to watch. Then I go to bed. Well, he wasn't mad at me, I wasn't mad at him, but if him every night, he on the couch watching TV and I'm in the room watching TV and he came in when time to go to bed, there was a disconnect. There was no conversation, there was no time. So now I will come watch a show with him out here. He'll come in and watch a show with me. We have some conversation so that we can purposely connect. How was your day? And like for Cedric, he don't like how was your day as soon as you hit the door. He want a minute to unwind and chill out. So you have to start with, give me a minute to debrief, so like to get a second, and then, have some conversation, have some times of just conversation. Like if you like walks, go on walks, just like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? How can I help you with your goals and your dreams? Things like that.
How can I be a better spouse? Or
right.
If you already had that conversation, how am I doing with the changes that I've tried to make? That kind of thing.
Well, always whenever you're trying to get connected, you have to be willing to be the first one that needs to change. And not, we typically, when things ain't going right, we're like, oh, he need to do this, or she need to do that, she need that. Right. But Lord, okay, what is that, Lord, that I need to do? Because typically when Cedric and I had the worst time, God checked me first. Like, okay, so you need to work on these areas. It doesn't mean that the areas that I felt Cedric needed to improve upon wasn't the case. But if I fix me, God can fix Cedric. But we too busy. We're trying to fix the other person, ourselves.
Right. I agree. That's what Tanya says. Kip says, words that are used are only a small part of communication. A majority of communication is nonverbal. How something is said, along with body language being used, goes a long way to help or hurt the situation too. And that's true. You have to be very cognizant of your body language, because people respond to body language subconsciously. They don't even know they're doing it. Like if you're talking to someone and their arms are folded, a lot of times you get attitude and you don't even know why.
But see, now, I've heard that particular thing, and we actually are in the middle of writing our book, and we have some issues about communication, different forms of communication. It says 35%? Only 35% of communication is verbal.
Right.
Okay. But people say if your arms are folded, then it's like a cutoff sign. Right. And I do understand that. But I know, like for me...
But that's not always the case.
That's like a
resting position.
Resting position for me. Right. Now, but most of the time, it is true to the fact it will cut off. So you have to be careful to know your spouse. first of all. But secondly, you do have to realize that you know, if he talking to you and you looking at everything else, or if she talking to you and you flipping through the TV, even if it's on mute, your focus is not on her or the conversation.
And that's one of the things that we'll address in the book as well, is when you're having those conversations to reconnect, there should be no distractions. There should be no phone, no Facebook, no TV, no playing with the dog, or whatever the case may be.
I mean, and people say, oh, I want to post a picture, I want to do this. And you can post a picture if that's what you want to do, but if your purpose is focused on each other, they need to know that when you're talking, that you get my undivided attention. Yeah. And that's eye contact. That is, I hear you, I understand. So that way, and the best thing to do to work, the best communication piece, if I had to give one thing, would be repeat back what the other person said to you. Right. So if Cedric said to me, I'd be like, so Cedric, what I hear you saying is that although I'm sitting here with you, you don't feel like I am paying any attention to you or I'm important to you. Because sometimes in our emotions, men and women hear what we want to hear out of it, and that's not what the person is saying at all. Right. But if I say, what I hear you saying is blah, 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 then either they can say, yes, that's it, or like, where'd you get that from?
Not what I said.
I mean, and we've had times that one of us will say something like, blah, 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 and then it's like, where'd you get that mess from? It was so so drastic.
You listen through a filter of your life experiences.
Well, it could be what your perceived, like if you feel like that person,
what you think their response is
hurting you,
right, then
it could be that you already have a defense of, so you think they're gonna hurt you again. So everything you say, and they may have hurt you before, so you're already thinking that, I know they finna say something to hurt me, or I know she finna attack my manhood, or I know he finna say I ain't no good wife, or last girlfriend did this, that, and the other. So no matter what that person says, you automatically just go on the negative. So the best way is to say, what I hear you saying is, and the person can either confirm or deny. But to me, that is the absolute best tool, because it leaves all the fill in the blanks for that I thought out.
Well, when we talking about that too, about undivided attention too, I go back to that sermon you had about people being addicted to their cell phones, and a lot of people don't even realize that they always have it in their hand, or it's
Hey Tammy, thank you for tuning in.
Hey, what's up, Tammy? Danielle, we're talking about communication right now. How you doing? She said, hey, I never missed it. But anyway, when you go to the restaurants and stuff, even the people not on their phones, they have it sitting right there on the table in front of them.
But I want you to do one thing. Next time you go to a restaurant, look around at every table, and 95% of the people at the table, kids, adults, are playing on some type of device. The adults have the kids playing to keep them busy. The adults on there. Even if a husband and wife are together, they're on their phones. Right. One of the things that we started doing was put your phone in everybody put their phone in my purse. Because the people that are important are right there. And we miss so many things on our phone. Right. And half the people on Facebook are being pretentious about what they have, what they want to be. There's a lot of miserable people that make their timeline look so happy, and they miserable as I don't know what in real life.
And for pretentious, another word that they lying. They lying.
So stupid.
So anyway, but that makes the other person feel important, and everybody wants to feel like they're the most important thing in their spouse's life. So that's very important, and I didn't want to gloss over that fact. Okay, back to the comments. Earl says you have to have a happy medium on TV, activities, happy wife, happy life. Terry says true. Angie, I agree that as Gerald and myself, I will now pay attention to not go straight to my room to watch my recorded shows. I receive what you're saying.
Well, see, now, Tedra, because most time we don't want to watch the stuff that they watch. Right. And it's just comfortable because we're married, we coming home. Like, if you ask me what they are what makes them a good spouse, they'll be like, well, I come home. Like, especially men. Men will say, well, I come home every night. And that's good. But that's what you're supposed to do. Well, like,
that's a good starting point.
But people want a trophy for what they're supposed to do. Right. We got to get out of this cookie cutter thing where you got to have... you want credit for the crap you're supposed to do. You're supposed to come home. When you decide to get married, you're supposed to bring your butt home every night. Like that's not a checkout option to check out of that. But
well, it shouldn't be.
But you have to intentionally get involved with the stuff that he likes. And like when I started doing that, watching stuff with Ced, I didn't necessarily like flip this house, flip this butt, flip something, child, flip something. And I started watching. I ended up started liking some stuff. We ended up watching this man where he made these old crazy tree houses or something like that. But those things I started to get interested in.
But what was the key to that though? When you had questions about what was going on, I was patient. And I wasn't always that way.
No, he was horrible before. He used to be like, if you're going to be out of noise, you need to get out of here.
I explained.
He used to be telling me, get out and frown like, I mean, I want to watch my TV. I don't be asking y'all questions.
Well, the same thing with football. Because she liked basketball, but she wasn't a big football. So she's like, well, what does it mean when this happened, that happened? So I was like, well, it means this. So now she'll watch some football with me from time to time.
But that's the thing. You have to realize that if it's not something they understand, like you hardly ever enjoy something that you don't understand because you're confused the whole time.
Right.
So if you want me to enjoy it, then you have to help me get to the point where I learn it. Well, I know what it is. And I'm telling you now we're able to intentionally spend time together, intentionally do things together, but it wasn't always that way.
Right.
And also to have some key conversations. Those, how am I doing as a wife? How am I doing as a husband? Okay, and once you have those conversations, not defend yourself like, oh, I ain't doing that, blah, 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 blah. It's because you did it or not.
Every time you get a review at work, you should have that conversation at home.
No, the review at work is usually once a year. You need
that's
you need it. You need
I would
it.
say every quarter, but some people can't handle that. You guys crawl before you walk.
I mean, honestly, I would say every month. You need to check in because 6 months is of somebody doing something that's getting into your skin is too damaging. No, I know that, but I'm saying if you wait
once a year,
then I'm saying 6 months of something going being negligent, or then it can be a cause of wedge big enough for people. That's why you see people get divorced in a year, their first year of marriage, because there's unresolved, untalked about things that we haven't moved forward with.
Okay. Kip says, so true, undivided attention when it's time to have a discussion is key. But that's the other thing, too, I meant to mention, too, is you have to have wisdom of when to resolve a matter and maybe when to let it go and revisit it. Because if it's getting too heated, and, if something is too heated, you're not going to come to a resolution anyway.
Okay, so what about that, don't let the sun go down on your wrath? People use that scripture all the time, say don't ever go to bed mad. What do you think? I mean, there's truth to that, but
there's also wisdom to it too. So, because you have a disagreement doesn't mean it's necessarily wrath.
Well, I'm saying people say don't go to bed mad, but if you guys are fighting about something, it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning,
and you got to go to work.
Even if you don't have to go to work, pretty much you're not going to get that resolved at that time.
Right.
And you're mentally fatigued, you're physically fatigued, so you're not gonna. You may end up saying or doing something that you regret.
My wife was the queen of that when we first got married. I'm your wife. We're gonna figure this out. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. We're gonna talk.
Why he lying on me?
She go to sleep now though.
That boy still there. Oh.
He's okay. He never came. Anyway, Troy says active listening, good stuff. Terrence said true. Terry says true.
Wait a minute, I got a question. I mean, Earl said at the end of his happy wife, happy life. What do you think about that?
That's true to a certain extent.
He really do.
I don't know.
He says that frequently. I mean, I've heard people say that all the time.
A lot of people say that, yeah.
But that's not. There's truth to that, but how much of that is
well,
because
it's a happy. It should be happy spouse. I think is more appropriate because your job is to be the servant to your spouse and to make sure that their needs are met. And if everybody does that, then there's no problems. Everybody will be happy.
Well, okay. Because no. I know the reason they say it because if a wife is unhappy, she can make the house hell.
True, but
she gonna fuss and nag. And the Bible tells you better be on the rooftop.
Well, the man, but see the thing about the man is he'll put up with it for so long But at a certain point,
but I'm
it's
saying
gonna be
I'm just that phrase alone, happy wife, happy life. I think that is setting relationships up for failure because there's too many men catering to some of their wives' foolishness instead of addressing it because they don't want to have, difficulties or problems at home or wife be unhappy. But you have to sometimes address uncomfortable situations. You will have happy life later, but
right. Oh yeah.
if not, the man will be unhappy, and then sometimes you get infidelity. We just grew apart because I've been so busy pleasing her, but nobody's taking care of my needs. Nobody's looking out for me.
Exactly.
And men don't talk, so they may not share that they are feeling a certain way. And even if you do share, it's kind of like, so what? I feel this way. So we always discard your feelings to address her feelings. And so...
Is that they watch?
Yes. So we don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't... I just want people not to have that. People say that all the time.
That statement is flawed, fundamentally flawed.
That's just like, you complete me. No, you got to be complete when you get married. I don't want a half of anything. I don't want a half a car. I don't want a half a sandwich. I don't want a half a house. You don't want a half a bed. You don't want a half of anything.
You have a sandwich all the time. Sorry. Ow.
They didn't say it well on camera.
Domestic violence. Don't do that.
What you say? Okay, so it said.
Gwen says trash book, not Facebook.
Right.
Terrence says that, I guess, talking about your eyes. Terrence said, I like that. Key conversations. Said it's crazy. Good conversation tonight. Earl says take interest in your spouse's interests and communicate your interests on everything. Elvin says corner of a rooftop. Finish that statement you were making about.
There's a scripture that was saying that the Bible says better to be on was it better than a corner rooftop than the house when it's like a nagging wife or a cackling? I can't remember that wording.
Cackling wife.
Cackling wife, whatever. But it was saying that it's better to be on the roof than in the house with a woman that's nagging and tripping.
The wife that's on that Willie Bobo.
So, and Earl, I understand what you're saying, not to put any thing on you, per se, but I just hear that all the time. And there's so many things that we say, we repeat, that are not necessarily true. And I want us, we got too many false perceptions about marriage and relationships that don't work. But some people won't have your money. Right.
If you get into a marriage too quickly, that might happen to you.
Well, that's the thing. We marry for the wrong reasons. We don't do our. Why do we have to go to school to get a license for hair, nails, real estate? We go through schooling and extensive tests, and you have to do continued education. But you can go get married tomorrow, and they don't require you to do anything. And your failed marriage can jack up children and communities. Hey, Kanisha. So, they put more stock in your, you getting a license from, say, to Florida, than you getting married.
I think we have the conversations out of order. We get married and then have all the tough conversations after we get married. It's too late, and you find out that you may not be as compatible and don't agree on certain things.
And then when you find you're not compatible, you're not willing to. Even if you do it before, if you do premarital counseling and you're not compatible, people don't stop the marriage for whatever reason. They already told people they're engaged. They already got their stuff planned.
Already paid for that.
Like people get engaged, and then they start paying money. Then they go to premarital counseling
right before the wedding.
Yeah,
and they'll pay for everything.
Because if that dude it would be better for you to lose your money on that wedding or have another party for something else than to marry that person and live in hell. Because
it'd be better to have the counseling before you do all that wedding stuff.
But they don't. Nobody ever does that.
Yeah, they have the conversations first. That's tough. Then you get married, and then not saying that you won't have problems, because you will, but it won't be as terrible.
Deal breakers and what was it? What was the other? It was a difference between deal breakers and it was like
dislikes, or
like preference or something.
Right.
Like there's things that I like to do a certain way, instead of does something different. Those you can get married, you can deal with. But deal breakers when you don't have conversations like,
if you're Baptist and I'm atheist.
correct. And although some people don't feel like that's a big
Right.
deal,
Or if I'm down with polygamy or swinging,
right?
and you not.
I mean,
that's a big deal.
But that's because I grew up thinking that, you know, I was raised in the church, so we don't do this, that, and the other. He could even be raised in the church, but what the church he went to could be
Right.
so much different. Where you have to ask to go to the bathroom, and the structure is different. Those can be deal breakers as well, because when you get married, are you going to church together? You know, like
I want to have kids and you don't.
right,
That's another big thing that a lot of people now don't want to have kids.
right. But then people get married because I had somebody tell me the other day was like he knew that I didn't do this stuff before he got married, and I understand that, and there's some truth to that. But
When you get married, you'll change.
no, but in everything though, you evolve, you grow.
Right.
When you get hired, every year they expect you to get better. They do rating, they want you to improve. You get promotions. So your goal when you first came out of high school might have been to own a barbershop. Okay, so you may own a barbershop. Your goal when I got out of high school to own a barbershop. Okay, so I get older, I have a family, I own a barbershop. Now I don't necessarily want to do a barbershop, or I want to own a chain, or your goals evolve as life evolves. And so we can't think that you can't get married to a person and think you're going to change that person.
Right.
But I do
it.
expect growth though.
Right. Well, that's why, like you said, you check in all the time to see, because sometimes people goals change and they grow, and they're growing different. You want to make sure that you stay connected, because you can grow apart. Because, like you said, you get older, things change.
What did James say?
Just chimed in, but money, child rearing, and individuals growing are big obstacles.
And it is, because money, if she want to blow it and you want to save it, or he want to blow it and she want to save it, or you know, you guys he want to buy a house, she want to buy a house, she want to buy a house, he want to buy a house. You know,
sell the house, or downsize to a condo,
right?
The house,
right?
Things happen.
Child rearing. You know, I think the child can just go out all times of night and do whatever, and then she thinks, you know, if you don't have those conversations, but see, when we get those little butterflies and in love, we want to have just enough conversation to say we did it, but we don't want to have truth, because if we have truth be told, if Cedric and I had done our due diligence before, we wouldn't be married. I'm not saying we wouldn't have gotten married. We just wouldn't have got married when we got married.
Right, not so soon.
See, because it can be the right person at the wrong time.
Right.
I saw some comments come in.
Yeah, Elvin says total quality improvement, TQI. I like that. Mark says we always connect. Mark Strick.
Okay. What's up, Strick?
Kim says good evening. Just joining. What's the topic? Talking about communication. Nakaya says, what are some things that you can do to become closer to your spouse?
Okay, Nakai, you must have just came on.
We were talking.
You might have to go back and backtrack, Nakai, because we can't go back because we getting ready to on the wind down. But
you said the wind down.
We on the wind down.
Wind down Monday.
I was already asleep. I was knocked out before we started this program. You have to
communicate.
Right, but more so just communicate. It's effective communication.
Right.
Because everybody communicates, and we said body language and tones and grunts.
Right.
Like, if Tommy says something to you, Mark, she can tell by your expression, by your body language, by your...
Right.
Go on with that mess, man. You know, whatever it is your response that he ain't feeling that. Right. And the same thing with if she says something and you kind of do a certain way, it could be a certain little thing you do that she know you're cool with it. Now, you might not ever say anything verbally, but that's a part of knowing each other. But that's spending time. That's, you know, we do, when we get children, we just forget to date. We forget.
Mark say honest communication. Another thing, too, you have to remember is just because you're saying something to someone doesn't mean you're communicating. If you say the same thing to somebody 15 times and they don't understand the first time, you're not communicating.
You gotta find another way to say it.
Right. Communication means they're understanding what you're trying to say. So just because you're saying, I said it, I told them 10 times, but they don't understand. They didn't understand the first time.
Right.
So you're not effectively communicating. You're just talking.
But that's a common problem, and that's the one thing that women do. And we were talking about women, the difference. We're gonna repeat it over and over again without trying to put any thought or saying, what am I saying differently? What could I say differently? What is it that he's not getting?
Right.
And again, if you take the time to say, what I heard you said was, you don't feel like a priority to me.
Right.
I mean, you don't feel like a priority to me because when you talk to me, I'm on Facebook, or when you talk to me, I'm doing whatever.
Right.
Then when you do that kind of stuff, then you get to have a conversation and understand what the person is trying to say. Otherwise, it's just like, I'm saying words, but he like, wah, 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 wah.
Like the lady on Charlie Brown, the teacher.
Right, you have no idea.
And what in the world are you talking about? Yeah, that's true. I was going to say something, I forgot. I'm getting old.
But the biggest thing is that you have to, if you don't have communication, you don't have a relationship. Communication is just that important. Right. Because you can't deal with work without communication. You can't, and once you learn the principles of communication, I take this stuff to work with me. So now I can have communication because I understand how people and dynamics of relationships work. Right. So when you learn how to communicate, it would effectively help you deal with every aspect of your life. We had a couple that we dealt with, and the guy told me, he said, I was able to take those same tools to my job,
right?
Because somebody was automatically assuming that he was attacking them in a meeting or something, but he was able to say, take the principles and apply them. So once you learn them, they benefit you with your children, they benefit you with your work, they benefit you everywhere because you get it. You get it.
Earl says you can communicate negative, but in a respect his view and respect her view. I think I know I'm trying to say that, but I'm not sure. Gwen says, what do you do when you're trying to apologize, but he wants to keep arguing?
Okay, now there's some people that like to argue.
Right.
My husband can be one of those people when he feel like he want to make you feel bad for it, he can be that person. Him right here.
Me?
What?
What? Me? Argue? Man, I don't even like to talk.
He don't like to argue, but when he wanted, when you're like, okay, Cedric, this is done. Oh, it ain't done. It ain't over till I say it's over.
Well, see, no, there's a whole story behind that from when we first got married. Like I said, she used to have these 3:00 in the morning arguments.
No, it would just be that he would be watching TV all night, and that'd be time he came in the room to go to bed. And so I'm like, dude, we're not going to address the elephant in the room. Oh, it's 3:00. Well, you knew it's 3:00 when you sat your butt on that couch then.
Right. What's up, Mark? Thanks for tuning in. We'll be on next Monday.
Yeah, we getting ready to get off. We get off at 9.
Every Monday at 8 o'clock, sir. We'll be on.
Oh, well, maybe next Monday because I'm out of time.
Yeah, we're going to do some cyber conferencing.
That sounds nasty.
Don't it, though?
Cyber something. Okay, somebody says something real quick.
If couples aren't willing to hear the cold, hard truth from each other and take it as being out of love and the betterment for them as a whole, they are doomed. Well, not necessarily doomed if they're willing to change, but in the long run, if they keep doing that, yes. Because if you can't, that's the thing about communication. If you learn how to communicate, you can get through those tough things because you can communicate in a positive way without attacking the other person.
Well, thank you. And Kit, we do. I create an event, so if you subscribe to Black Love and the events, you will always see what's going on. Like I'll be out of town next week, but we're gonna try to do it where. Because Cedric could even do it where I'll join in and we'll do it from where I am. Yeah. But I'm just telling you the fact that
we're gonna do some technology next Monday.
We're gonna see how well he does. But we were the worst in all the areas: communication, arguing, fussing, compromise. We was the worst at all of it. So if God can fix us and bring us farther along, then Lord, He can do it for anybody. Because we was a hot, terrible, god awful mess.
Terrible, boy. That was the worst 5
years
of my life.
It was worse 5 years, but I think that even the next few years was still like.
One is bad, but it was still pretty bad.
Huh?
So it wasn't as bad, but it was still pretty bad.
What that say?
Tammy says, no communication, no relationship is true. I started to shut down. My husband says he never really knew or had to. After 17 years of marriage, he is much better now.
But that's the thing. Yeah. They think, and that's the common thing that people do when they get married. They don't put forth any effort. I got them now.
Right.
No, they don't date, they don't dress up, they don't, just enjoy each other. They put forth no efforts, kind of like I got them. But like, he don't want to come home after seeing these fine women all day long and see you looking a mess with Noxzema and Moo on.
It doesn't matter how long you've been married, because we just
men are visual.
Listen, we just talked about a couple that married 50 years and buddy up and left a note. I holler at you.
For real.
I was like, wow. But that didn't mean you grow apart over the years. You stop putting in that effort,
listen,
and that happens.
If you're in a canoe and you don't pedal,
you're going to go where it takes you.
You're going to go where water takes you, and the water is life. And a lot of times, it'll take you the opposite way,
right? Because
you're intentionally pedaling forward. So you got to always pedal.
I agree.
So we're getting ready to go?
Yeah.
Because I know this is our time, and plus he want to watch something.
Not me. That was Mark said.
No, but that's what Renata said too.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. That's what they were saying. Hurry up, because something.
No, he was talking about that basketball.
They all in that same mess.
Yeah, well, the NBA awards is after that.
I'm saying. So anyway, our
relationship is more important than the NBA. You gonna love me? No,
I ain't gonna watch it. I'm finna go do hair. I do my girls' hair. They doing their singing pictures tomorrow, so I gotta do hair.
Oh, I thought you finna go back in there and start slobbing again.
I will as soon as I finish that. But thank you, Tammy, for joining. Thank you, Tedra, for joining. Again, when I created, look at Renako, see?
Yeah.
So black.
Don't be like that.
So when I put the event on there, if you would just share it or say that you're going, that way you'll get notifications.
And invite some friends.
And so, I don't know what our topic is for next week.
That part. He's talking about time to pray. Yeah, right.
Yes, it is time. We prayed in.
I'm saying, he acting like he finna get off in, bro. He said because his prayer is over with.
Right. Why took it? He was so slow just then. That's all.
No,
that's
Oak Ridge. Yeah,
we know what you thought. I'm just saying that's time for Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge, right? Look, Elvin, he was slow tonight. That's your boy, but he was a little slow.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Come on, it's your time to pray. Come on.
Don't do that, Edgewater.
Come on, babe.
Where we going?
To the throne. Take me to the king.
Hey, shot time. All right, bow your heads. Angie, your head bowed. It's real big. You down? And Father, we'd like to thank you for this broadcast. We thank you for everybody on the broadcast. We ask that you bless them, sanctify them, Lord. Give them soft and malleable hearts so they will continue to seek you, Lord, get closer to you. In doing that, they will get closer to each other. Bless all the marriages. Protect them, Lord. Encamp your angels around them that they continue to grow and thrive and be examples in the community to other people. That everyone will strive to have a beautiful relationship that is loving on both sides, that we're willing to be servants to our spouse and to our families. Yes. We ask you to continue to just grow relationship and marriages throughout the country, throughout the world. Help it to be the new thing that everyone wants to do and wants to be in, Lord. Help to grow conversation that we'll be able to talk truthfully and honestly with each other, and be able to accept that, Lord, as honest criticism and do better, Lord, because everyone needs to do better and be better.
Thank you, Lord.
We just ask you to continue to bless our ministry, expand it, Lord. Bless us beyond our wildest imagination, Lord, that we'll be able to reach everyone that you would have us to reach, Lord. Give us the tools and the things to say that we will be able to help everyone and affect change. We know at the end it's not us, that it's you, and we just give you the glory and the praise for it. And we ask you for protection and that none of the enemy's devices will work against us, Lord.
Yes.
We thank you for it right now in your son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for joining.